Early morning pairs. All right. All right. Right away in Link's house, we have a 5-arrow upgrade. So right off the bat, they already have more ammo for their arrows. So whenever they do get that early bow, hopefully, then they should be doing pretty well. As they make their way to escape, I can definitely tell you, this race is going to be a good one. Alright, as they make their way to the first chest, I wonder what it is. It is the bug net. Wow. Remember yesterday, like during my commentating yesterday, Sacred Hooves, I mentioned during your race that I was feeling that the bug net was going to be very early on. So I guess it was this race I had a feeling for. But what I am worried about is them not getting bombs right away and forgetting to check the later part of the cave, later part of the sewers for those 3 chests. And here we have both Elminster and Darko get the quick kill on the blue soldier in the map chest room and getting a key. And here they go, making their way into the boomerang chests. Elminster getting the quick kill off of the blue guard. And they find the early boots! Early boots in this seed, wow. That is definitely a major item, which can definitely change some of the routing in this seed already. Depending on whether they have to do desert or not.
Oh, totally. And even with just finding the boots now, here's the benefits of having those. When you get into desert, you'll be able to check that on the podium. Additionally, more so, the thing that's more important is there's bombs, so that actually helps too. But now they have the Pegasus boots so they can dash into the wall during escape because it's that one special type of crumbable wall they can do that with. Additionally, they have a chance of actually nailing a sub-6 escape time, which is really going to shorten the length of this seed significantly just because of Pegasus boots alone.
Oh, definitely. And like as you saw earlier, like just now, well, not just now, a few seconds ago, they both took down the ball and chain guard using pods. That's probably the safest route to go, and the safest and quickest route to kill them. If you don't do the 8 sword slashes up against the ball and chain guard.
If you want to tank them that way, yeah, you can do that. Additionally, you can throw 2 bombs and do a spin attack. That'll count for the 8 shots you need. You can do 2 pots that does accounting for 4 slashes a piece. So there's many different ways to take that guard out. It's just up to you to figure out which way is the most efficient. And it looks like for them, the most efficient way is what they chose.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yesterday, I'd never really seen anybody take out the ball and chain guard with the bombs. You were the first person I've ever seen do that. So, it's definitely interesting to see what everyone brings to this game. Alright, here both of them have made it into the sewers and got past the snake room with ease with using the boots.
That's just the beauty of the boots right there, like if you're charging at an enemy and you don't hit like a projectile like an arrow or a fireball in the process, you know, technically speaking, you are almost invincible to a point just dashing through everything because you're hitting them, they're taking their iframes, they can't damage you during that time because you're just ripping right through them. And again, here we'll see Elminster is the first one to make it to it. Will he actually use it to? Yes, he will. You can see the intentional bonk there to break down the wall to get to the escape chest. And let's see what's inside. We got the map, we got a red rupee, and we got a 5 bomb upgrade.
All right, so bomb upgrade can be pretty big this early on in the game, but here we had Darko in using the bombs to open up the way forward. And he also missed the key, like he missed the rat with the key in it, so it took a little bit of time there. And with the boots, a 541 escape by Elminster. That is a really good escape because of the boots. That is a major time saver for escape.
And Darko just inching in exactly at 6 minutes, hitting the door transition. So you can see the boots playing a very pivotal role here, because most of the time people are getting here about 6:30 because they're checking escape, or it's about 7 minutes in they finally start to get the chance to actually go and check the escape bomb path that they actually get out of Sanctuary and stuff. And the fun part is now, with the Pegasus boots, they can check the rock outside Sanctuary so they can see what's in there. I didn't catch what was in there.
It was the hammer. So
Ooh,
getting
yeah.
early boots got them. They both checked the Cave of Despair, as I call it, and they both got the hammer. Now, if they got Moon Pearl in Kakariko Village, they can go to the village of Outcasts right now. Actually, no, they can't. They also need the Power Gloves. Sorry about that.
I was about to catch you on that one and say, yeah, with the restriction that they do at least need the Power Gloves. But right now, we already saw that Elm already checked the Aghanim item to see in the cave, and it's crisp $300. Right now, Elm is actually in the forest checking up the mushroom, which drops us 50. Not bad. Now we're going to drop in on the Thieves' Den and see if he's hiding anything good. And another 50. That's going to be enough for the bottle guy.
Yeah, the extra 100 rupees right now will definitely help them with the bottle guy, and definitely help pay off Zora.
Let's just hope everyone remembers to check the 5 key areas that everyone forgets. One of them now, most importantly, is including Chicken House.
Definitely, because Chicken House, you never check that in normal gameplay.
Oh yeah, you never do it because it's, it's a 30 arrow in a chest. I mean, you can get arrows pretty plentifully in the game, so that's not a huge thing to be, concerned about. But in a randomizer, that could be your silver arrows. That could be, your magic mirror, your moon pearl. Hey, Kana Burna. Hey, Buttersword in the Thieves' House. Another 100 crisp. Let's see what's hiding behind the wall now. Dang.
Wow. Buttersword already in Kana Burna. That is insane.
Now we got her invincibility. Now you got your power. You have the ability to dash already. You have the hammer. You pretty much are almost set here. You just need a few key more things to get rolling, like the Moon Pearl, a lift upgrade, maybe a little bit more health, an armor upgrade, the essentials. But it still looks like Elm's getting paid down in the cave, getting bombs, another 50, a red boomerang, and he's now checking behind the wall, and we got a whole heart finally. Bottle Vendor also has a piece of heart.
Darko going to the salesman before going into the well. But Elminster, going right down to... Oh, does he miss it? No, he's going back toward Chicken House. Now, right now, he's definitely not going to do the potential soft lock that could happen with if you try to grab a chicken, it won't pick up anything. And then, like, unless if you get hit or there was, you have to like save and quit. You soft lock yourself in that position. But yeah, so far nothing of note since blinds. And here we have Elmster going toward the library, see what's in there. Whatever it is, he can get it.
Ooh, hook shot.
Wow. Hook shot already.
That's going to make some very, very early game grabbing happen. If we can get ourselves maybe some Titan's Mitt, maybe get ourselves the mirror. Piece of heart over by the race, so if you desperately want it, up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the hook shot, again, that extendability, and now we have a secondary stun weapon we can use. Pretty awesome. So now all we have left is to go check out our little cave of wonders that's down by the sea and see what we got left.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, pretty almost. If you've played a few randomizers or watched a few, this is probably mostly the same routing, because these are the best places to get items right off the bat. They're quick and easy to get to, and after you get these, I mean, just going to Kakariko. I mean, with having the boots and hammer that early, I mean, you could do a lot of things.
Ooh, and a nice glitch in there by Darko, making great use of the fact that he has the hook shot, pushes the block forward, opens the chest to get the prize, and is able to slip on by. And our efforts for draining the water was a pack of 10.
Mm-hmm. Did you happen to see what the prize was? I looked away from the screen for a bit.
It was a 10 arrow drop. It wasn't even an upgrade, it was just here's 10 arrows.
Alright. And here we have Moldorm Cave. This is definitely one of the more annoying caves, because, like, unless if you know how to get to the bottom right. And here we got blue tunic and a green potion.
So we got paid and we got armor. Not bad. Now let's hope they remember when they go back to Kakariko Village that they actually need to go visit the sick kid, because now they have a bottle. So hopefully he'll have something useful. Perhaps maybe he has the magic mirror. Perhaps he's holding the moon pearl. Who knows? He could have the flute. Anything could be possible.
And another thing to note, that the butter sword, sometimes it's a forgettable fact that you can actually kill the dancing cucumbers, as I like to call them. Alright, Ice Cave giving nothing but 20 rupees. And now let's see where Darko and Elminster are going to go right after this. Darko saving and quitting to check that all White World dungeons are crystals.
Oh, this is going to make for a perfect choice of routing options. We can see Elm here is not choosing to save and quit, but he's choosing to run back. What his plan is at the moment, I have no idea.
He's going to attempt to use fake flippers to check the hobo. And Darko pulling up a spin speed to go check the 3 chests behind Sarashula.
Ooh, magic mirror!
And it definitely paid off. He has found himself the mirror, and Elmster having a little bit of trouble with the fake flippers, but he ends up getting it right now. Hopefully he doesn't get soft locked, or in the randomizer it doesn't soft lock you, it kills you. But we see Rage Rod Island having 5 bombs. 5-bomb upgrade, and now we get to see what the hobo is. Darko has entered Eastern despite not having the arrows, which is a little bit of a gamble for him.
Just a smidgy, because if you don't find the bow at any point during this run, you have to effectively back out of Eastern Palace, and Hobo being a bot, be in a pot. But yeah, again, Eastern is a very big risk. Even though it is a crystal dungeon, there is a high chance that you cannot find the bow in here. And if you don't find the bow, you have to back out and then you have to go look for that. But with the magic mirror, there's a lot of opportunity to open up to Darko if by chance maybe he gets the power glove or the flute right in here.
Yeah, Elmster. I'm not sure where he intends to go right now.
He's
Because-
going back for the sick kid, actually, because he remembers he has the bottle.
Oh
and
yeah,
you think,
he has 2 bottles right now.
Yep, and he wants to. Yep, now he pulls up his map. So now he's trying to figure out the best way to handle this, and he's thinking, well, maybe the sick kid has something. So now he's going to check sick kid and see if that's the case. If not, he'll probably end up grinding up for money. And if the sick kid gives him money, there's a chance he could just fake flip her over to over to Zora. And nope, 5 bombs.
And Darko getting the quick skeleton room and finding the big key right after that.
This might help shorten down his trip if he finds an item right here in this big chest. And it's the compass, so now he's going to have to go the whole Eastern Palace route, but he's still using spin speed to help him make through some quick ground here.
And Darko going through Eastern, not to finish it, but to grab these rupees in this one room. And that will put him over the 500 edge. And right now, Elmster getting to go to Shirashal to get the mirror. And I wonder if he's going to do the same thing to check out Eastern.
Well, at the moment, for the case of money, it's paid off for Darko. He also has found a piece of heart in here. But again, where he found the compass in the chest, this still leaves where the big key normally resides and the boss drop for possibilities of good things. So if he does get the bow in this room, that's going to be the opening he needs to start pulling ahead.
All right, and here we have a play by Elmster right now. Because since his thoughts are he doesn't have the arrow, he can't go through Eastern. He doesn't have the book, so he can't go through Desert. And he doesn't have any way to go to Death Mountain. And here we have Darko finishing Eastern, getting the chest in Eastern. And Elmster's just getting ready to go through Aghanim's Tower.
You know, the good thing, Fetch, about having a golden sword here is you can literally just walk up and smack people in the face and they pretty much fall over. And that's the good part about the run here. At this point, he doesn't have a lot of options, you know? Darko's going to explore a little bit more. He's going to go check out that one cave over by the desert and see what's actually on the cliff. Meanwhile, Elm's probably making the better choice / a possible gamble to see if there's something good at the Pyramid of Power. Like if the Moon Pearl is there. If the Moon Pearl's there, that's great. It's just going to be another, opportunity to look for something else. We got a red rupee on the ledge over on Darko's side of the screen. He's going to go check the cave from the looks of it now. Yes, he is. But again, if something useful is on the Pyramid of Power, it's going to be a big opening for Elm.
In my opinion, I think that there are 4 possible items that can be on the pyramid right now. Either the power gloves, the Titan's mitts, or the flute.
So Power Glove, Titan Mitt, and Flute. You did say 4, but real quick, Darko, his little trip, Moon Pearl. Okay, Darko's little trip paid off as he now has the red shield. So now he has the Fireball Deflection ability. So I don't know if that was the better play to go with, or it looks like he's still going to do some farming. Maybe he's going to come up and do Flake Flippers now too, and he's actually going to take on that trip to Zora. So we'll see what the 500 cash cow has to say in a moment, maybe.
That could also be pretty good too, because it could be one of the 4 items that I said that could be on the Pyramid of Power. But
and we're gonna find out about the pyramid in a moment, because here comes Elm. Excuse me. He's letting Zelda ascend to the Dark World.
And Darko checking the island and also going to get his bottle of B. It is a normal B, I believe, actually. and Elmster getting into the Aghanim fight right now. Now, one feature I really do enjoy that they changed for the randomizer is that they got rid of the RNG for the Aghanim fight, which means that he can no longer shoot the blue balls, which you can't reflect and damage him.
Even if they did, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, Darko, knowing that he has a bottle right now, he's going to check sick kit.
He's going to be just a touch disappointed when he finds what he's given. But the one thing that's I've noticed when I've played the actual version, of ALTTP, and I found it easy to manipulate Aghanim per se by standing right next to him. He'll never throw blue balls, but pyramid weapon is the bow.
Whoa! Oh, that means that is one other item that he can complete Eastern Palace right now, which could have one of the 4 items I mentioned earlier.
Indeed. So Elm now, his gambit actually pays off significantly, granting him the ability to have the bow and the arrow. So this is going to give him an opportunity to pull ahead now. So he'll be able to fully complete Eastern. Meanwhile, again, as we mentioned, Darko is now going to go check out what our friend Zora has. And if Zora has something useful hiding up on his ledge, and possibly the flippers for sale, this could change either way.
Now we get to check Darko finding the moon pearl on that ledge. Now, I have a feeling that he has to come back here because he does not have flippers. Unless he gets God RNG and have Zora give the flippers, which he does not.
Paid 500 for not even a Sank Heart. That's a low blow. What was on the ledge per se? I did not get a chance to see it.
It was Moon Pearl.
Ooh.
It was Moon Pearl. And I apologize if I mispronounce Elminster's. So he's going back into Eastern to actually look through all the chests because I don't believe he actually went in.
Elm never went into Eastern, but with the hook shot, he's playing it a little smarter than Darko. Remember when he hasn't. Darko went up and around to get down to this chest. Elm uses the hook shot. Pretty pro move there. Good thought process. But Darko now realizing the same thing Elm already did, and it's, hey, I need to take out Aghanim. This is an early Aghanim seed run. I mean, I have my boots, I have my mirror. What else do I have to lose? I can't find my bow. I don't have my book. I know where Moon Pearl is. So I now need to go finish Aghanim, figure out what Elm got, and then get back in the head of the game. And Elm here, very nice quick skeleton room. Made sure none of them popped, got the 2 pots off early. He's making very short work of Eastern Palace by making wonderful use of that hook shot.
And Darko having a good maze room in Aghanim's Tower. One of the better runs I've seen through it. So Elminster is going right to this other chest. He is not going to go straight to it because he knows that there is a possible item in there. But yeah, even though Elminster is currently ahead because he has beat Aghanim right now and has the bow, this is still anybody's race. It all depends on where they go in Dark World.
Well, I think we'll have that answer soon enough, as Elm is about to finish up Eastern Palace by heading into the dark side of the area to ascend to the Armos Knight's room, which, at this point, question, what would be faster, butter sorting them to death or shooting with the 3 arrows?
Mm-hmm. Elminster is definitely making his way up to second floor Eastern Tower. Let's see how he does with Armo's quick kill. I wonder if he gets that. As Darko heads into Aghanim himself. That is a quick recovery over the first red ichor room.
Oof. Almost had the quick double kill on the Igors, but unfortunately that last one took a couple seconds longer than he wanted, so effectively Elm sort of messed himself up just a touch there. But he's made a quick recovery here. He's on the Armos Knight fight, and he is plucking away like fast fury, and gets the secondary quick kill, and he gets the silver gauntlets, the power gloves. So Death Mountain Ho, now we get to be able to see the wall of caves. Darko there doing a little dance with Aghanim as he spins into the dissonant future.
I have a feeling Elminster is going to head right up Death Mountain, but he could go off the Zora to see what's on the ledge. But if he does, he wouldn't be able to get it because he doesn't have the money or the flippers to even get there.
Nope, I think Elm's actually going with the safe bet because he knows... Ooh. Yep, he's going with the safe bet. He's going to go up to Death Mountain, so now we'll see what the man has. The old man that used to have the mirror. Elm continuing to go up for some reason. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, he wants that 300. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He does not have the money for Zora right now, and he hasn't paid for it. So, I mean, he doesn't have enough. So right now, getting this 300, it'll definitely give him enough, even for the big bomb later, which he might possibly need. And here we have Darko making his second attempt at Eastern, which we know it will pay off. Alright, Elminster is now at the old man, hurrying to get his item to see what it is. Now, since he has the hook shot, he can go over to Eastside Death Mountain right now. And he can also go up the top route and go that way also to sweep up the northern east part of Death Mountain. And go to Tower of Hera at the same time, so right now he is fully set up. Except for Moonpearl to go through the eastern side of Dark Death Mountain.
Oh, maybe we'll get lucky and inside the wall of caves coming up ahead, we will find ourselves the flippers. And this will give Elm a chance to actually proceed and do so with what he wants to do here. But I'm in the pocket of saying with ingredients that the better plan probably would have been to go and, like you said, and go through up by Hera and then come back this way. Because again, they have the hammer, so he could have checked 2 more items off his list and probably could have saved himself a couple more seconds of maybe going to check Zora afterwards. But we'll see if this is going to pay off more than going by Hera for those first 2 items and seeing what happens here. Because again, 7 items inside a cave. There's 1 in 7 chances that something good's going to come out of it that you absolutely need. We got ourselves another bottle. Saw a couple pieces of heart. We get a nice red rupee, another 300, so we're definitely getting paid. So we get ourselves a lot of money and a couple heart pieces here. So now we'll see how Elm continues to go forward for here. Meanwhile, we have Darko, who just got into the Armos Knight's room. Let's see if he can have himself a nice quick kill as well.
And it's a little bit surprising that all these 7 chests in Eastside Death Mountain didn't really pay off. I mean, another bottle is great, especially with the bug net. But other than that, there wasn't really anything of note, which is surprising to me. And Darko's saving and quitting and going right to Death Mountain. Elm going right for that spiral cave, getting nothing but a heart piece. Wow, and so he's definitely going to take the going right up the Hera and see what he can get from there.
Again, good option on the way by. He does have the option for, 2 more items. One that's directly in his path. The other one we're going to have to go a little bit over our way. But again, it could be, the MacGuffin that we're looking for, that golden goose egg per se, that's going to help push us into possibly dungeon rushing in the light world. And Magic Cape is up on the ledge. And our second additional mystery item is the flippers. So now comes the key question. After they get the flippers, who's going to be the smart one to go to Zora first? Because this is going to open up a lot more opportunities if they do that. Because again, they have the Power Glove. They have the hammer. If they do get the flippers and then go get to the Moon Pearl, this gives them the biggest opportunity to go straight to the Dark World, figure out where they don't have to go, and if Thieves Town is an option where they have the Butter Sword, attack that like nobody's business. And either I'm crazy or Pear Nation has just pear ripped.
Yeah, for some reason his stream just shut off for me too. So, I don't know what happened. So, it could be something on his end. I'm not sure.
And the pear jokes roll on in, starting with he disappeared and now he's perished. And we can see Darko deciding to stay on Death Mountain, got himself the flippers and is now back down the cave and is going to start back out. Maybe he's thinking that Hera is a better option and could possibly have the Book of Medora. Because again, hasn't saved and quit yet and is still going back up the mountain. Elminster is still in the dark. I'm really hoping like no power outage or something happened because that would totally stink.
Yeah, it really would. I mean, these both... Elm was having a really good run, right?
Alright. Darko starting into the Tower of Hera. The first item out in the open is the big key, so now we're going to see what happens from here, because we still got a couple chests left, and there's the opportunity of, going down could be a mistake here. We're about to find out, though. Nope, don't get a choice to find out. We're going up.
And I've just looked at Elminster has actually left the SRL channel, so it could be a possible internet issue that happened with him. But as of now, I mean, the race is still going, but I don't know how it's gonna look. I mean, Darko's continuing on, so I mean, it's very unfortunate, but it happens.
I have no current official word from... Yep, still no official word from anyone in charge of the tourney. What was inside the big chest?
The big chest was a small key. And here
so
we have Darko bonking against Moldorm and being sent right back up to the floor right above. And he killed Moldorm and got the map, so it looks like that he's going to have... Yeah, definitely. He might have to go right back in.
Alright, so Darko choosing not to go see the basement at the moment. Oh, by the way, there's a bottle up on the floating island.
Yeah, Elm didn't check that. Like, as someone in the chat pointed out, like, a little while ago.
It's just those little things that checking makes all the difference. And now we can see Darko, after finishing Hera, is now going to check the wall of caves over on Death Mountain on the east side. And he's going to find out it's nothing more but a couple taps of love. And some money. Alrighty, we have word that Elm has just rejoined RSC. So we're about to find out shortly just what exactly happened. Oh, in the meanwhile, there we go. I see an Elminster stream, and he is over in Zora's area.
Yeah, and he went right over, paid for that heart container, and getting the moon pearl. I'm not sure whether he actually went to Tower of Hera or not, considering the blackout at the time.
He did. I see 2 crystals as an inventory, so he indeed did go to Hera. And he's going a little bit differently than I thought most people would. He went straight down to his house, and he opened up the Dark World portal. Not the play I was expecting. I was expecting more people to start maybe in Thieves Town, and here we go. And, oh, this is going to be fun.
Ooh.
So we have to go to Skullwoods, Thieves Town, Turtle Rock, and Ice Palace.
Oh, yeah, so...
Ooh. Well, that's not shady. Let's get some drugs, and some life, and some money, and some strength, and ooh. Okay, so Elm's risk actually pays off. The magical, wonderful cave coming to life here, showing us the ability of the Titan's Mitt, giving us bombos, giving us some money, and a mushroom.
And here we have Darko going right back to get that moon pearl that he so missed. I mean, almost right now, Elm is only 4 chests away from the Hype Cave. So he's going to check out Thieves Town, well, the Village of Outcasts right now, and see what's over there. Darko getting ready to do the same thing. So let's see what's in chess game. The item was definitely the 5 arrow upgrade. But yeah, out of all of the 3 dungeons that were pendants, Misery Mire is one of the better ones that we want to see. But we also have Swamp Palace, which is a pendant, which can be bad because it has one of the higher item counts any of the dungeons in the Dark World. And Pod also, I mean you already have all the items to beat Pod, but there's still a good amount of items in there too.
Totally. Like, the 3 biggest dungeons in the Dark World that are just loaded with treasure are, again, Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace, and last but not least, Turtle Rock. Those are your 3 big ones that are going to pay off the most and give you the most items and bang for your buck. But at the same time, sometimes, especially with Turtle Rock, it can be the most annoying dungeon in the universe, and it's not worth those 4 extra chests that are just chilling there for nothing. Elm here, going into Thieves Town, and gets paid with the Mirror Shield, finally has himself a shield, and some defense there. And this is actually going to help out perfectly because he's going to go all the way through, and he has the ability to go straight to blind now with no problem getting the whole dungeon done. Additionally, he can check everything in the dungeon because he has the Titan's Mitt and he has the hammer. So this is just a free dungeon at this point, and better to do it now than later.
And Darking taking a rather unusual gamble. I mean, not unusual, but I mean, Skull Woods is a quick dungeon, and he decides to quit halfway through and decides to go right back and check the village of Outcasts. And he checks the C-shaped house and gets nothing but 20 rupees. At this point, money is just a thing for buying potions at this point.
Even then, if you do decently enough, you don't have to worry about buying potions. Honestly, like, they get all the stuff they needed from the bottles as long as they, conserve what they have and are careful about it. There really shouldn't be too much we need to buy stuff from the potion shop, but, options are options. It's always good to be there. Personally, I'm a fairy person. I just stack in all the fairies and maybe a green potion.
There is nothing wrong with that. I mean, you play how you want to play, and you have fun. I mean, it seems like everybody in this tournament's having a lot of fun. I mean, we have a lot of newcomers, and we even have like some of the best speedrunners in this also. So anyone's skill level was definitely welcome for this, and we have not been disappointed with everyone. So like everyone that has raced so far and is going to race needs a shout out, because everyone has just been so amazing during it. Anyway, I digress, and Elm, he skipped out on the big chest because he realized that it was an item, well, one of the dungeon items that he didn't need, and Darko also going into Thieves Town. So, and Elm gets the quick first phase off of blind, while Darko just finding the mirror shield.
And again, that mirror shield coming in to be a real favor for Elm there, being able to take blind shots. Blind himself dropping the compass, and with all the other chests left, I have not seen the map, so if he does not have the map, there is a chance that there's something good that's hiding inside that chest. I would know from experience. And I'm going to assume it's just a map because unfortunately I was not paying too much attention at that moment.
Alright, I'm going to correct the pendant, the crystal count on the screen.
Yeah, I've been trying to. It's it's weird to handle.
Quite alright. I mean, that's usually how I end up doing it. Try to, whenever I pause and count the crystals I have right then, that's usually whenever I update. But Elm just finishing up going through all the chests in Village of Outcasts. And since he has the Moon Pearl, the the mirror, and Titan's Mitt, he can go ahead and save the blacksmith and get the item over there if he wants.
Or he's just going to tell the blacksmith to continue to stay there because you're not important enough as the digging game.
This is
priorities.
Now, did you know that if you have the blacksmith or the chest following you, that you cannot do the digging game?
I did know that because actually the blacksmith will just say, I want to go home. Meanwhile, ooh, that is a very nice item. I do believe that's ether.
Yes, it is.
The chest actually yells at you and says, I will not go in there with you. You know, here comes Elm going, oops, wrong side of the mountain.
Darko also realizing that the big chest was the... And Elm going right back up there to the hammer pegs. Oh, I just realized that he does have bombos. Oops. I missed that.
Yeah, first things first, we're going to drop off the breadsmith. Maybe he has bread. Maybe he has a book to read. Maybe he could lighten our magic load. Maybe he could give us fire rod. Or ice rod.
I don't know.
Yep,
Anything's
bombs.
possible at this point. And Darko having a really good clean fight along with Elm. I mean, both blind fights were really good.
And now Elm's going to sit here and play Hammer Time and just run down all the pegs.
Alright, seeming to have a little bit of trouble trying to do the hammer dash, but he seems to get it. And right there, like the other day, I actually softlocked using those chickens, so the very first time I've done that. So Darko ending up going up to check Bumper Cave. So we might be seeing something interesting up this way.
What was on top of Bumper Cave?
It was 3 bombs.
I have yet to find a seed in this tourney that I have actually watched / participated in that that has been a good item. It's usually been like, a piece of heart or some money or, just something you could really do without. And Elm forgetting one crucial thing. Here comes the nice loving reminder. Ooh, he actually dashes it away. And he gets it for the shovel.
Ooh, that is a really good place for the shovel.
2 birds, 1 stone. Now I can go check and check the Haunted Grove and get it dug up too. Hey, Book of Medora. Very nice find.
Well, at this point, he can go and finish up Desert Palace right now and finish off the Light World. So that was definitely a good find. And he can check out the 2 tablets also, since he has a higher sword, a magic sword.
Yep, he has a higher level sword and he has the Book of Medora, so he can drop off the chest, see if it's worth anything, and venture himself into Desert Palace, see if that was worth anything.
Darko is making a gamble right now, going for Quakefish. Let's see how good that goes. Oh, he jumps into the water and goes right. But sadly, you cannot go up there. And while the purple chest has been delivered, and only found 20 rupees inside there, so while Elm is this way, he is going to check out the Bombless tablet. So Darko, he's giving up on the idea of going to Quakefish right now.
Nice.
And he's rechecking his map to find out his routing. And Elm got himself into a soft lock right there while jumping to the left.
And this is why he should have just went back to his portal, because of mistakes like that. It happens to the best of everybody. You get stuck up in here in the moment and you just totally blank out about it. Now we can see Darko, instead of trying to go for Palace of Darkness because he realizes he does not have the lamp, is going to go to the Magical Cave of Wonders and find out exactly what Elm has that he doesn't.
And Darko getting the mushroom also.
Did we ever find out what the mushroom translated to yet?
I am not sure.
Alright, so the mushroom is still a bit of a mystery. Elm about to have a disappointing moment because of what he's going to go check.
When did Elm get Quake?
Quake he just got from the pedestal.
Okay, I must have missed that. Because I mean, I was looking at Darko playing, and then like I look over to the right for Elm, and I just see him soft lock. So I completely missed that. So he has all the tablets, so he doesn't have to worry about what he needs to get into Mire.
Nope, definitely not. But his next objective is going to check out Desert Palace here and possibly clear it. Unfortunately, there is one small problem. He needs some type of fire source. And we can see Darko here. Here comes the the Quake Fish. And he loves us with a wonderful, delicious, juicy helping of 3 bombs.
Soggy bombs.
Soggy,
Wow,
wet fused.
That gamble did not pay off for him, sadly.
Big key right away. That's a good sign.
And you know what I just realized? Since they don't have a fire, the lamp or the fire rod, they might need to check the bottom of Hera in order to figure out what's over there. There could be a really good item there. But here we have Darko going toward either tablet just a little bit out of the way. Oh no, he actually decides to go for Spike Cave first, which is another big gamble. So I wonder if this is going to pay off for him. He does have enough magic. Even if he runs out of magic, he does have the magic potion. But considering the amount of time that he has to use it and go back and use the cape, he will end up killing himself for that. But he ended up going back there anyway and finding the Cane of Samaria. So that was a very good move on Darko's part, because the Spike Cave is something that a lot of people like look over and do at the very last possible minute. So Darko definitely having a head up on Elm with the red cane.
Indeed, having Samaria does give him a small advantage, but again, the disadvantage being, he doesn't have Flute, and he possibly could not at this moment have the medallion necessary to get into Misery Mire. So, wait, we don't even need to go to Mire. Why am I bringing that up?
Well, that too. But they still have to go to Turtle Rock.
This is true, so there is the possibility that, they don't have what they need for that. And Elm, not having the Cane of Samaria is, taking a big risk and chance here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what it holds inside. But he's going in armed with Bombos, and he's attacking Ice Palace right now.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that could definitely set him and Darko off is right here. I mean, he could have to explore all of Ice Palace. But Darko also making a gamble with Eastside Death Mountain. So, and right now, he hasn't found anything in the actual cave, but the Hookshot Cave, he still can go there. But right now, he's going to check Turtle Rock, and he needs either.
Elm's long since found Ether, so there's the advantage Elm unknowingly to him at the moment. Meanwhile, we have the Hookshot Cave. We got a +5 for Darko. Half magic, so that's going to help him out a little bit. A full heart container, not even sank heart. That's disappointment. And 20 rupees. So, all in all, it was worth the half magic.
Oh yeah, that half magic will definitely help him later on, whenever he has to. Well, whenever he wants to use the cape or Samaria again. Which he might go there too.
Ooh, Elm, nice double kill planning.
So now it looks like it's going to come down between a fight for Fire Rod and between Fire Rod and Flute, because Elm and Darko each have one respective item that they can hold it over each other's heads for Turtle Rock. And Darko finally going back and getting the book.
And there's the shovel for Darko, so now he's going to catch up with Elm just a little bit. But as far as I remember, the shovel item does not pay off. It was just a pack of bombs.
Yes, I believe that is the case also. But he does not go to check the Haunted Grove, surprisingly. He goes right to the digging game. I think he's going to swing up right this way and finish saving the blacksmith. And hopefully seeing what he gets from there.
And there's Ether. So now he has the ability to enter Turtle Rock. However, not the ability to complete Turtle Rock.
Because he would need Fire Rod in order to do the puzzle to the right in order to get a small key. And possibly the big key. And so far, nothing of notice of importance that Elm has found in Ice Palace. So, Ice Palace was probably a huge gamble, but there still are a few chests left.
That is correct, Fetch. There is still a few chests left. There is Stokehold's there himself. There is a lot of opportunity for magical moments to happen. And it's going to come up into these next couple of rooms coming up for Elm. This nice little corridor that lets you pick up a total of 3 chests pretty much back to back to back via rooms. And then he'll have the big chest to check out himself afterwards.
And Darko following suit, going from the Bomos Tablet, going straight to Desert to check there. And Elm making his way toward the big key chest in Ice Palace. And he does the quick way through this room by not killing the Stalfos right there and going for the chest right away.
Alright, he now has all the keys he needs to finish up the dungeon. He has yet to check the big chest, and I believe that is all that's remaining for Elm in the dungeon, is the big chest and Cold Stare. So, we're about to find out.
Yeah, and Darko getting ready to finish out Desert. Then I'm wondering what his next move is going to be, because they can do Swamp. They cannot finish Skullwoods. They cannot finish Tower of Hera. They cannot finish Turtle Rock. And right now, Elm is finishing off Ice Palace, which means the 3 dungeons that they cannot finish, they're going to have to go through one of the pendant dungeons in Pod or Swamp Palace in order to possibly find these items.
Yeah, that is the disappointing moment, but again, there is a possibility while going through these pendant dungeons. Again, I don't know how confident Elm's or Darko's Silverless scanning phases are, but, there is the opportunity that, they're not too good at it, so they could find Silverless in there and make it, things a lot easier for themselves.
And Darko going into the second part of Desert, I think he forgot that he does not have a lighting source. And Elm, he didn't do the bomb jump, so he's going to have to find a small key and do a victory lap around Ice Palace.
For the most part, thankfully, it is a very short victory lap, but it is still a victory lap nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. And did you see if he got that small key during that pot the first way through? Because I'm not sure he did. But either way, I don't think he needs it at this point, because all he has to do is just push the block down and just go right to Cold Stare. But he's taking a little bit of a side trip just to look at the few other chests. Actually, wait a minute. I'm getting a little bit confused with Ice Palace's placement. Because if he goes up here, he's going to end up right back where he started. But at this point, like, he could have just fell down the hole. Like, from that side of that big, long ring. Like, and dropped down this hole right here like he did. He just went a longer way around for this. As Elma's getting ready to go into the Cold Stare fight, Darko has done hammer pegs to check there and decides to pick up the heart container. The heart container was sank hard. Now he has a full heal with 13 hearts over Elm's 11. And as someone in chat asked, they have not turned in neither of these players have turned in the mushroom toward the witch. So that could possibly be the lamp, fire rod, or ocarina.
That is a possibility.
And Elm getting his fourth crystal, getting a 1 crystal lead over Darko at this point. But since he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria, that 1 crystal might be closing. That gap might be closing pretty quickly.
Question, did we ever figure out what, oh yeah, we did. It was soaking wet bombs.
Yes, so Elm, I believe he might check the witch for the mushroom, if he remembers it. Yes, he has remembered it. So we get to see what the witch... Because Darko did not have the mushroom the time that he went there to Quakefish.
And just a down payment.
Alright, so going to Witch did not pay off at all, which Darko is about to find out.
Likewise, Elm's about to find out that, catfish is just, well, catfishing.
Yep, Elma's about to get 3 soggy bombs, which he might not need. And Darko taking an unusually long way out of that screen to go back to find that all he's gonna get is 20 rupees.
So at this point, the only thing that's left for Darko is to go to Ice Palace, only to find out it's gonna lead to a dead end. And for Elm, the only options left are pendant dungeons. So at this point, the most logical thing to do would be to check out, hold on, question. Has anyone checked out the Magic Cape Cave?
Yes, Darko did, and it had nothing but bombs. Wait a minute. Magic Cape Cave? Oh, I think that just had rupees. If you're talking about the King's Grave.
Yes.
Yes, there was nothing of value in there. Just rupees. But Elm is about to find out here really soon. Because I'm not sure if he actually checked it, but he's definitely checking the graveyard cave. After he checks out the graveyard cave, after he checks out the king's grave. Okay, I've confused myself a little bit.
Full life container, not even sync heart though.
And as a reminder, Darko got the Cane of Samaria at the Spike Cave, which Elm has not checked Dark Death Mountain at all. So he can still go up there and get a few items.
This is true.
I mean, he can. The only things that were found up there in Hookshot Cave was the half magic, and then in Spike Cave was the Cane of Samaria. So those were the two things that were up there.
So now comes the almighty question. With the Cane of Samaria in his possession, this is a big risk in some way, shape, and form. But with the Cane of Samaria in his possession, what if there was a possibility, just saying out loud, a possibility that the fire rod was in the first chest you find inside Turtle Rock? Would that completely screw you up, or would that actually help you?
Having the fire rod over there, I am actually not sure. Because the way I think that would screw you up, because there has to be a solid amount of small keys at the beginning of Turtle Rock in order for you to do that. But Elm is actually making a little bit of a gamble right now, because none of us had mentioned that the Master Sword could be one of these items. Give you 10 shots with your bow, so it is not an item necessary for beating the seed. But there is one thing to note about what Darko has not done that Elm might consider doing right now.
And what was that?
Dark did not check the big chest key. Well, I mean, the big chest. Okay, the big key chest, sorry. In Skull Woods. He left after doing the first part. So he did not check that chest. That chest could be that is the only thing I can think of without going into the pendant dungeons.
This is true. There is a chance that, if he does have the big key, if he did go back for the big chest, if the big chest was the fire rod, where like it normally is, obviously we'd say not randomized, but at the same token, it would be the opportunity that he needs to pull ahead.
Okay, just to correct you, I mean the big key chest, not the big chest itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there could be something there. But also, Palace of Darkness, that could still have something needed.
Same as Swamp Palace. They both have access to part of the Palace of Darkness, and if they want to, they could take a risk in the Palace of Darkness and wander around and hope for the best in the dark, and maybe that's where the lamp is or fire rod is. But at the same time, they could go to Swamp Palace and find that too, because they have the hammer, they have the hook shot, they have everything they need to do it. It's just, there's an opportunity that what you're looking for is inside, a pendant dungeon, which sometimes can be the case.
And you know what? I actually, while you were saying that, I just had a thought. I mean, they don't actually need the flute. I mean, yes, it would be nice to have, but flute is the only necessary in order to get Misery Mire and the 3 other items outside of it. So if Misery Mire is not necessary, then the only items that they really need is the fire rod and possibly lantern. If they need the lantern in order to see for the Turtle Rock, like that maze toward the end.
Ooh!
Okay, my stream sort of blurred out right there. Was that fire rod?
I do believe that was the fire rod.
It was the
yes,
fire
it
rod.
was.
So Elm definitely has a huge advantage there.
And he's about to get an even bigger one right now, Fetch, because he is inside the cave.
Mm-hmm. But neither of them have found Ice Rock. But that could still be in Turtle Rock.
Could still be in Turtle Rock, which at this point they now have the accessibility to do at any given time they want. Because Elm just picked up Samaria, so he now has Samaria and the Fire Rod, so he could do that. Additionally, he could go to Skull Woods, and from Skull Woods, he could, go and finish up what he needs to. Because of the possibility, he could find the lantern in there. That would give him the ability to see in, the dark areas, which he doesn't really need. But, if you wanted to, say, like, find silver arrows, or if for some odd reason the Ice Rod was in Swamp Palace, or not Swamp Palace, Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. And Darko having a pretty clean Cold Stare fight, which brings them like at a solid 4-4 crystal score right now.
Well, that's about to be widened just a touch, because again, Elm now has a fire source, so he now has the accessibility to do the Desert Palace and get himself another crystal. This would give him 5 to Darko's 4, and obviously the advantage being Fire Rod at the moment. That is until Darko figures out what Fire Rod is himself.
Oh, definitely. And I just want to say, this is a really good race so far. I mean, some of these item locations, I mean, they're not too bad, but they're still pretty good. Pretty good for a randomizer seed in a race. And here we have Darko going back to the digging spot to check what he missed there, only to find out that it's just bombs.
Yay, disappointment.
But as of right now, Darko, I'm not sure if he has a plan on what he's going to do. Actually, I think he might be looking for the pendant dungeons right now, because I don't think he remembers checking the Ether tablet. And that is going to be the downfall.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Until he remembers that Ether is available for him to check, again, he does not have a fire source, so it's going to be interesting for him to figure out where he's going to go next.
And if he's going to Palace of Darkness, then he might take on the maze in there without the lamp, which could cost him even more time.
We're about to find out what the Land Mullahs have in a moment, because we have Elm who's starting on their fight right now.
And Darko making a clean opening of Palace of Darkness. and Elm getting another crystal, but it was not crystal number 6, which is needed to unlock the big bomb in that shop to get to the Fat Fairy. But Elm right now, he's gonna go to Skull Woods and see what's in there.
Yes, indeed. Skullwoods is going to be his best play at the moment because, again, he does have the fire rod, so advantage to him that he can actually finish that. But it also looks like he's going to poke around some other places, too. Well, he just chose to go in a different way into Skullwoods. Did Elm already come into Skullwood at some point?
Elm has not. But right now, I think he plans on looking at this chest right here to see if it has the big key. And I will say that this is the chest that Darko did not check while he was here. So we don't know what's exactly in here. Okay, so it's the map. So Elm is making a really good gamble on going to the next place and probably more than likely going to check out the first part of Skull Woods whenever he comes back. After beating Mothula, I believe Elm was the one who checked the Masters. Do you remember that? I believe he was.
Off the top of my head, I do not remember who it was to check the Master Sword. There is the big key, though, so Elm now has a couple choices. Finish the dungeon, which is what he was going to do. Now he has the big key, so he can check back later inside the big chest to see if he has something possibly rewarding for himself waiting there.
And honestly, I think going through the rest of this and beating Mothula is the better call at this point, because he hasn't even explored the first part of this dungeon, and that could be, and we know that Darko didn't find anything of value over there, but Elm does not know that. So, but the routing that Elm has chosen for this dungeon has been a rather good route. And as you can see, Elm going for his Mothula fight, he has taken quite a bit of damage from the Gibdo in this dungeon. And Darko trying to go through the basement of Pod without the lamp. So he's going to attempt to get all these items without the lamp. And Elm definitely finishing the fight with half a heart left. But keep in mind, I believe he actually caught a fairy for safety. So, and Darko having some trouble in the dark.
That in itself sounded almost oxymoronic. But that was just one of the...
Having trouble in the dark?
Yeah, Darko having trouble in the dark? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. See that? Big dark in his name. Well, Elm is going through and finishing the rest of Skull Woods. Let's see what he finds. Oh, and I was just told that Darko has actually found Ice Rod. I mean, he must have picked it up in the dark somewhere, and I missed it. But he has Ice Rod. So, it all depends on where Elm's gonna check right now. But right now, he just has Swamp and Pod to check right now, since he doesn't have the flute. Oh, and chat corrected me. Thank you. It was the room before the dark. I'm sorry. I apologize for that mistake. Darko going back through to pick up the last remaining chest, and Elm getting ready to go into Swamp Palace to see if there is anything that he needs in there. And as far as I can tell, the only possible items that could be in there are the lamp, the flute, and the powder. And since, like, Elm also doesn't have the lamp, I mean, I don't think he's gonna risk doing the maze by itself. And Darko finding the ocarina. Alright, since he doesn't have to finish the dungeon, he is going out of there and getting that bird as fast as he can. Meanwhile, Elma's gonna go through Swamp Palace and possibly not find anything of importance. I mean, the flute can definitely help Darko save some time with traveling, but as of right now, he is 2 crystals behind. And Elm actually does have crystals 5 and 6, which he can go to Fat Fairy now. So, but that item that he's looking for, the Ice Rod, he's going to be in for a world of hurt if he can't find that lamp and do Pod, that Dark Maze and Pod. Okay. Actually, he doesn't have to do the Dark Maze and Pod. I apologize again. But here we have Darko, since he has the ocarina, he's going to check out everything in Mire to try to find that fire rod, because he knows that's the only thing he needs. Oh, and just as a reminder, the fire rod was actually in the Ether tablet up at Death Mountain, so Darko definitely did forget to go up there, because he didn't do Tower of Hera because he did have a fire source, and I guess he didn't want to risk having to go in the basement to finish that. And Ice Rod was in House of Darkness, toward the back. I didn't catch exactly where, but it was in Palace of Darkness. But yeah, Darko definitely taking a big risk going in Misery Mire right now, because Misery Mire is one of the bigger dungeons. And since it's a pendant dungeon, he could just be wasting his time in here.
Indeed, it could be. Just if only because, there's not a lot of payoff within the chest. It's mainly, you know, chest-to-chest progression, and additionally, this is a pendant dungeon. So the off chances of Vitreous actually holding something important, or the off chance of something important actually being here exists, is very, very slim. Same is the case with, you know, going through Swamp Palace here with Elm, going straight through. He's going to head straight up to Argus, because again, don't need a boss key to get to Argus, so that's going to help out there too. But, you know, they're both taking risks that are hoping to pay off.
And it most certainly could pay off. Because Darko could find that either one of them could find the all-important lamp right now. But Darko finding the big key in the best room that it could possibly be in if you had to complete this dungeon. And then Elm finding the big key toward in the two chest room, but he doesn't seem to be going backtracking for the big chest right now. And Darko, is he? It's a strange routing I've seen from Darko and Misery Mire. But I mean, he could just be forgetting some things. But Elm is on his fight with Argus, and as of now, all he has is the item from Argus, and then the big chest. And looking over at Darko, he does not have a lighting source, so he has to get out of Mire.
And that's the sad. Yeah, that's the sad reality there. It's just, you know, getting into that situation, it's like, all right, I got this. And then here comes foot to face. It always hurts when you realize that you're going on a wild goose chase.
It definitely is. Especially whenever you play a seed like this, and then you're like, I could have had this item 30 minutes ago. Darko is definitely going to be kicking himself when he realizes where the fire rod actually is.
Ooh, magical powder. You know, we don't talk much about the magical powder. It's got some awesome properties. You know, you can turn wisps and bunny stars into fairies, and that's what I call them. And then additionally, you can use it to change cukemen, those are the dancing cucumbers, into gelatinous jellyfish that instantly drop full magic. Also, most notably, you can go to the Bat Cave and you can wake up Batman. Sort of. Batman.
Which I believe that is what Elm is doing. And Darko going back to check the Master Sword pedestal to see what's over there, because he hasn't yet to do that. Now the question is, what does Batman have?
Well, we know the Master Sword is 10 arrows, so not necessary. And 20 rupees for a bag of drugs. Yay!
Alright, I think Elm's only call right now is to go through Pod.
That would at least get him the ice rod, which would give him the start he needs. Because again, he has how many crystals? 6?
Yes, he has 6. And
Darko's 4.
The flute was also in Pod. Also.
So this would be a double win for Elm, but he's also going to go check some more stuff on Death Mountain, which, understandably, he could do some of that. And ooh,
Actually,
ooh, is he actually going to take the risk and attempt to do Turtle Rock without knowing where Ice Rod possibly could be?
I believe that's what the risk he's going to take. And then Darko is going to take the gamble and check inside Swamp Palace. But right now, neither of them have found the lamp. So this is going to be very interesting to see where it could possibly be. Which we know that the lamp cannot be in a dark room. So who knows where the lamp could be?
At this point, it's anyone's real guess, but again, Elm now sees that he has only one crystal left. He's thinking that, he's trying to call the opus of it all and say that, this is it. This is curtain call. I can make this happen. And we're going to see if he actually can make that happen. But again, we all know at the moment that Ice Rod is currently in the Palace of Darkness. So Darko here, effectively, even though behind by 2 crystals, has the slightest of advantages because Elm has not checked Palace of Darkness yet.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, even though he's 2 crystals behind, he can still come back and make this a very close race.
Indeed.
And also keep in mind, neither of them have found silver arrows also. So this could also come down to a silver arrowless fight for Ganon.
I'll admit, I've gave a couple attempts at silverless, but again, that was without the knowledge that I do know now about it. And I have a pretty good guessing gesture of how to handle it now. So, like, the basic gist I got of it is this, is for the silverless Ganon fight, if they have to actually go through with this, you have to make sure you get the torch glitch, and that is obviously by triggering the left torch in Ganon's room as it goes out, and hitting it with a fire item, in this case the lamp or the fire rod if you have it. This is just before the right one goes out. If you do this, the right one will never go out, and you only have to worry about the left one. And from there, the basic science is to basically line yourself up with Ganon and get him to throw a fire bat away from you. And it's usually about his 6th flame from the fire bat, which is when the first one starts to disappear, that Ganon will start to initiate the teleport, which is when you're supposed to attack him with the spin attack in order to effectively, start taking down Ganon's life. And of course, if you do it, you'll hear, you'll see Ganon flash as he starts to teleport. So that's how you know you did it right. And that's about the best way I can explain it from what I've seen other people do, and a tutorial by one of our own racers, GamerCal. He recently put one up this morning about it. So, anyways, back to the dungeons at hand. We have Darko, who has just finished up with Swamp Palace, is now on his way to Argus. He's going to see what he makes out of that. Meanwhile, we have Elm that is still deep within the bowels of Turtle Rock. Here's hoping he realizes that Ice Rod is not here. Preferably sooner than later.
Yeah. And as Darko is finishing up his Argus fight, Elm is getting ready to check out Mimic Cave to see if anything's in there.
And we get a butter sword for a butter sword. Too bad we can't dual wheel and go, gung ho on this.
Oh yeah, Darko, having not backtracked for the big chest, he goes right back in, check and see what that is. As we know, it's only 20 rupees, but considering how, as the race is coming to an end, I mean, neither of them know.
This is exactly true. Neither one of them knows what the other one is up to at this moment, so neither one knows who has the lead, who has the advantage, who's going to come out on top. All these things are still frantically up open in the air to possibilities at this moment. But we can see Elm doing his best to navigate in the darkness here. I don't know if it's really paying off for him at this moment.
No, it isn't. I do not believe he's actually pressed the switch. And if he has, I must have missed it because I was looking at Darko going through the rest of Swamp. But it looks like Elm is in the bottom left-hand side of the room, trying to make his way to the door itself, which he just missed. So Elm is definitely having a little bit of trouble right here. So he went back to reset where he started. And that was a good call, because once you find out where you start in this room, it is all you have to do is push just several inputs just to get back to the door, which from what I see, he's got it.
And he also managed to get the button and navigate himself over to the other button, or the door, excuse me. So now he'll be able to check his bounty prize, and we'll see what possibilities that the Palace of Darkness has in store for us. Starting with a full heart container. 5 rupees. A surprise trip down because, haha, face lasers. A key, which is going to get us into the next room. And top it all off with another piece of heart.
Well, and Elm has just learned the hard way that Ice Rod was not in Turtle Rock, so he has to question where he has to go now.
Well, it looks like he's going to take a chance here and check out the one outside door cave that is only accessible from this part of Turtle Rock. For the fairies.
Yeah, Mimic Cave is earlier, right outside the big chest door from Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Just for clarification. And Darko just getting his gift from Batman. Wow, Darko trying to figure out what he missed right.
Alright, so the obvious big points at this point in the race, it's $1.37 and change in for both players. At this point, I can say from my standpoint too, nerves are starting to rattle, your focus is starting to go, the item pool is dwindling. Where haven't I gone is the big question of the day. And so far right now, for that, it's Elm has not gone to the Palace of Darkness and taken the risk that Darko has in order to find Ice Rod. And Darko has yet to remember, in a small setback, that he has yet to check the tablet at the Tower of Hera.
Mm-hmm. And here we have Elm going back in to Turtle Rock, which I believe he's going to go forward and check the Mimic Cave, because I don't think he actually went over there and he forgot about it. So Darko, I believe he's going through and rechecking Misery Mire, or since he has the big key, I think he's going to take a big risk and try to do Misery Mire without the lamp.
It certainly is possible. It's just going to have to come down to very precise routing from Darko, knowing where he is at all times in the room. And just, again, he's going to have to be very careful about doing this. I mean, it could pay off. At this point in the game, Vitreous could have, I don't know, what is left to get. Vitreous could, by chance, have the lantern, which would be an awkward twist in the kick, but, anything is possible at this point.
Definitely. Because neither of them have found the lamp. Which is a really odd... odd thing to not find this early. And Elm going down Spiral Cave, which...
Elm, what are you doing, man?
Oh yeah, Darko, he's heading right back up to the room to go down to the basement of Misery Mire, which I think, yeah, he's finally decided to go and do that. And Elm finally going to Mimic Cave. And let's see what's in this chest.
It's a heart.
It is a heart, really?
So yeah,
Where
again,
is this lamp?
we're down to our final few options of choices left here. Again, Elm having to go through and do the Palace of Darkness. That is his only hope for the ice rod, which will get him out of this sooner. And additionally, Darko here is taking a huge risk. He's in the first room of darkness, trying to fight with all the lamps. Excuse me, not the lamps, all the laser energy sentries. He's trying to get around all that just to make sure he gets through the door. He's having trouble trying to find the door. Then I also think he can't tell if the switch is actually being pressed or not at the moment. Like, he keeps knocking the block around. Oh, wait a minute. We have transitioned down.
Very nice. The first room in Misery Mire is one of the hardest dark rooms to navigate. Simply because, I mean, you have all those lasers shooting you, and you have to go through it kind of fast and precisely in order to get out of there. And here we have Elm finally taking the plunge and going into Palace of Darkness, where the ice rod is. So, and actually another thing to note, that Elm has not checked the Fat Fairy. So that is another place where the magic lamp could be.
This is true, but by the same token, as a cruel twist of fate, Fat Fairy could have the lamp and the silver arrows, just as an added touch of, you know, nostalgia and middle sorting you. And Darko has finally managed to make it through, so we will now see if his efforts will pay off as he comes up the stairs and is now outside Vitreous' main hallway. And Darko going in really deep here, eyeballs deep per se. He took a chance and he stood on the jelly that is produced by Vitreous and took a couple pieces of damage to take out his little eyeball minions first. And Lord Blammo, there goes Vitreous himself, dropping a 50 rupee note
50
and giving the green pendant.
Wow, but I have to say, that was a really good Vitreous fight.
Indeed. Now here comes Kick in the Ghiblies Part 2. What if Sahasrara has the lantern?
That would be an interesting development. But what if he also had the silver arrows? That is one other thing.
That's officially mind blown in every which direction. And we're about to find out for sure.
But yeah, Sahasrara cannot have the lamp because you're supposed to be able to find the lamp without going into any dark rooms, I believe.
20 rupees.
But yeah, the only other place that the lamp could be is Fat Fairy. But yeah, as Darko has shown through Pod and Misery Mire, and Elm has shown through Turtle Rock, you do not need the lamp to beat this game. Now, unless if you need to light torches in Desert Palace and Hera Tower.
Ooh. Elm lining up for big risk, big reward chance here. He was trying to bomb jump across the bridge. Unfortunately, he was met with the demise of the bottomless pit telling him no. And there is the ice rod. So now Elm's going to make the smart decision. He's going to mirror out. He should have just saved and quit in the dungeon. Oh no, I know why he's doing that. He's going to the light world first. That's right. Saves the menu.
Elm has exactly what he needs to go through Ganon's tower right now.
And Darko going for, his own possibly big, deep reward here. He might attempt to do Palace of Darkness in the blind too, just to see if he can get the fire rod. But yeah, unless somehow magically Darko remembers to go up Death Mountain within, say, the next 2 minutes, I think we can pretty much call this one clean down the middle, that unless Elm does something dumb, he's got this in the pouch.
Well, but we also have to remember, neither of them have silver arrows, just like I pointed out before. So it all depends on who can actually do Silverless Ganon. So Elm could have the advantage right now, but if he can't do that, then he might be in some trouble.
Just a touchy. I do know after yesterday's matches, a couple people did come up to me and say, "Thanks for the inspiration to learn Silverless." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. You're welcome." I'm glad that's what we took away from my demise, almost. Again, Silverless is not a hard thing to learn. It's just practice. And Darko right now is really going in deep here with the biggest risk in the universe that we know has zero chances of paying off completely at this moment. He's going in, he's trying to handle going through the dark rooms of the Palace of Darkness to get to the Helmasaur King, which at this point might just give him a very paltry salary or just the red mail, which, would be cool, but at this point, ultimately a very disappointing moment that could lead to frustration.
Definitely, but if Darko does find red mail or silver arrows, I mean, that could be his one victory for this run.
Well, once again, only time will tell, and here we go with another darkroom fiasco on Elm's part. Let's see if he remembers how to play it. Yes, he does. He finds the button. Meanwhile, we have the Helmasaur King coming up on Darko's side of the screen, and again, he's holding his charge blade out and using the hammer at the right time to keep the charge up, but deflect himself backwards and still keep going.
Man, Elm having a little bit of trouble again on this dark maze.
But makes it through the second time.
And then he's going right out of there. And Darko finding the silver arrows and claiming the last pendant.
I couldn't really see if that was silver or not for all the explosions.
It was silver arrows. Helmasaur had silver arrows. Yeah, Elm does not have silver arrows right now, which let's be real, I mean, he does have enough time to go beat Pod to go get them, if it comes down to it. But Darko, I think he's going to attempt to go through Turtle Rock and gamble that he doesn't have to do the Fire Rod room.
And And there's the map, so that completely nullifies the lamp being anywhere else but at this current moment, Ganon's Tower.
Actually, there is one chest that Darko could not get to in Misery Mire, which could possibly have the lamp. The you know the four torch tile room?
Oh yeah, the one the map is.
He didn't have fire rod to check up north where the compass usually is. So it could possibly be there.
Well, nevertheless, here comes the beginning of the end, possibly within the next 10 minutes, as Elm has started to lay siege to Ganon's Tower. I gotta tell you, this has been a very exciting race from the let-go,
Yes,
but just
it
to
has.
see...
And actually,
just
sorry to cut you off there, but as someone did mention, did either of them check the back of the basement of Tower of Hera?
Neither one has checked the bottom of Hera yet, because another one has found... Ooh, there we go. That is a good start for Elm. Does he have 2 keys? Yes, he does. He's gonna go straight up the tower. But no one has been to Hera to recheck the bottom of the room. So there's a possibility that, the fire rod was outside only just to give you the lamp, which, albeit strange way to do it, but, hey, what do you expect? It's a randomizer.
Yeah, I have seen a randomizer, a few of them, where you need to get the fire rod or lantern to go in there to get fire rod, or vice versa. I have seen them. So having it right now is totally not uncalled for.
As an extra final twist, Mordorm 2 has the lantern just to say hi.
That's not possible.
Really?
Well, actually, wait. Do you have to go through any... Actually, it can't be. Lamp cannot be in Ganon's Tower because you'd have to go through the dark room in Turtle Rock in order to get further. So the lamp cannot be in Ganon's Tower.
Yep, there's confirmation that it won't be. I still want to know desperately where Lamp is, if just to soothe my mild curiosity.
I mean, like, the only 2 places I can think of off of the top of my head is north of the 4 torch tile room in Misery Mire, or in basement of Hera. Those are the only 2 places that it can be.
Yeah, at this point, it's either the basement of Hera, or, as everyone's saying, the...
Or Fat Fairy. Fat Fairy. I forgot that, too.
The kid in Kakariko gave him a very unfortunate thing. Nothing useful.
But yeah, the reason why the gap is this big right now, with Elm is going right, just bursting through Ganon's Tower, and Darko, he did not check the Ether tablet. The Ether tablet had the fire rod, so he has not gone check over there. And right now, I'm pretty sure he's thinking, where have I not checked? I mean, because I've been in the same situation before. I needed to find lantern to continue, and couldn't find that for like over an hour. One Steve. So it's just bad luck on Darko's part.
It happens. And Elm is now coming up within the last 3 floors of Ganon's Tower, so this is it. We're coming to the beginning of the end for real this time.
Darko going up the left side. I think he realized that he has not checked Hera.
Are we finally about to get the kick in the teeth we've been waiting for?
I don't know. Let's see what he decides to do after this. Elm has beaten Moldorm 2, and he has decided to check either tablet.
Well, Darko finally getting paid, and Elm definitely getting paid. Now has a fat, crisp 1K in his wallet. Too bad they're rupees and they're not real money. Darko, now getting the fire rod, is probably having one of those moments where he's cussing at the computer screen, trying to figure out where to go next. Trust me, if I was in his shoes, I'd probably be the one doing that myself.
Mm-hmm.
If just because...
And yeah, definitely at this point in the game, both of them are like, okay, where is the other person that is like, did I screw up this badly to hopefully, did I not screw up this badly to not take second at this point?
Well, at this point, for Darko to have a shot at second, I don't mean to be grim about this, but Elm is going to have to do a lot, and I mean a lot, of fluffing around here. He's going to have to fail a lot of Ganon attempts to give Darko that much space to work with. Because again, he now has fire and ice rod, so he could have gone back and done Turtle Rock, but he's saving that obviously for, the trip to GG. Now he has to go through, he has to finish Skullwoods. What else was left? Did he even do Ice Palace yet?
No, he has not done Ice Palace at all.
Ouch.
Actually, wait. I don't think he actually went into Hera. No, it was Tower of Hera. He has not beaten Tower of Hera. But right now, we have Elm on 3 hearts going into Phase 2 of Ganon.
And with Blue Mail, no less. I can attest, this is not exactly the place you want to be with low health and Blue Mail. But Ooh, and that's why.
But I believe he still hasn't used his fairy, and Darko finally beating Mothula, trying to get back trying to close that gap that he has been in for most of the game. And Elm getting to Phase 3, almost getting ready to go into the final phase.
And the Dark Palace is the revealed answer. So yeah, you're right. Palace of Darkness drop was... There we go.
And again, here we have Elm getting the torch glitch. And pulling off a pretty good Silver Arrowless Ganon so far.
Yep, we're down to 2 hits in. There's 3 hits in. Darko's in a little bit of trouble. It's going to have to take a bonk off the edge or possibly a down, again, to just open the gap any which way for Darko to have any luck here. Because he still has to go through the rest of the Desert Palace. He still has to do the rest of Turtle Rock. I just don't think there's any chance that it's going to be possible to come back from this at this point.
No,
again,
I really hate to say it, but Darko did an amazing race. But just for not checking Fire Rod, that really messed him up.
Yep, that was literally the beginning of the end for Darko there. Just not check. Ooh! Elm almost threw himself accidentally into the pit there. It gives himself a nice recovery.
Not the pit, it burns!
And there it is, the magical explosion.
And here we have Elm finishing with a 1:59.09, getting the sub 2 hours.
Nice. That is indeed worth the GG.
Definitely. This was a pretty solid race and a really fun seed.
Shout outs to the Pear Nation coming out to support their true patriot. And the Pear jokes will now roll on in chat.
Mm-hmm. And since he only has Turtle Rock to beat, that was crystal number 3, if I do believe so myself. Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. Sits on Elm Pew. I think we're now going to work on trying to see if Elm would like to come in and possibly give us some comments about the race, especially after that wonderful moment.
But yeah, here we have Darko going right up to Turtle Rock, trying to finish this as fast as he could. Alright, here in a few minutes, we're going to have Elm join the voice chat and say a few words.
Hello.
Welcome, Elm. Wow. That sub 2, you must be elated, my friend.
Oh, I am extremely surprised that I won. I thought for sure that after I went to check both Swamp and all of Turtle Rock without Ice Rod, and then finding it in the Palace of Darkness, I made like the worst decision I could have made there. Just like not even like a bad decision, just the wrong one. Like it was basically a 50-50. Whether to go to Swamp or Pod.
Your 50-50 ended up in the end sort of paying off for you, because Darko did not find or remember about the Fire Rod until it was too late. You have begun the process of attacking Ganon in silverless form, and you utterly wrecked Ganon before he even got back to start up with Turtle Rock, because he now has his last crystal left.
Wow. I thought for sure he was going to beat me by like 10 minutes.
So yeah, on the topic of the Palace of Darkness, would you like to know now that the game is over where the silver arrows were?
They're probably in the chest right below the Ice Rod.
Actually,
No.
Helmasaur's holding them.
Oh, okay. Okay, then the chest below there probably has the lamp.
The lamp cannot be in any dark rooms.
Yeah, so it had to have been the lamp, right?
No,
No.
we're thinking it could have been in the bottom of Hera, where you guys could have checked with the Fire Rod after getting it, or because neither one of you did this, Fat Fairy has 2 chests that you guys haven't checked. So
I forgot about Fat
possibility.
Fairy. I also forgot about the bottom chest in here. Wow, I'm really glad Ice Rod wasn't there. Okay,
No,
that was a dumb one on my part.
But yeah, also a fluteless seed. If Meyer was required, I mean, that would have been another trouble item for you. Would you like to know where that was? Because we do know where that one was.
Where the flute was?
Yes.
Sure.
It was in the Dark Maze in Pod.
Oh, okay.
So that was actually found pretty late. So
I guess Darko found Ice Rod long before I did?
Yeah, but you found Fire Rod before him, and as soon as you found Ice Rod, it didn't matter at that point. You already had the advantage. You were up 2 crystals at the time. You only had your final crystal left. Darko was still down 2 crystals. He had 4 out of the 7 required. But he did have Fire Rod sooner, and he did have Samaria sooner. But he had Ice Rod sooner and Samaria sooner, but he never found Fire Rod until almost a good chunk of about, say, 20 to 40 minutes later into the race.
So he just forgot to check Ether Tablet, didn't think of it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which was very unfortunate.
I actually, I thought for sure that I was going to be behind because I did Dark Death Mountain a lot later than I realized was advantageous to do so. So I figured he'd done it way before me. So the entire race, the entire last half of the race, I thought I was playing catch up.
Yeah, I will say he did check Dark Death Mountain before you, and he did find the Cane of Samaria before you even found it, but you had either before he had it. So it was one of those items where one of each of you had an advantage over each other for Turtle Rock.
That was just crazy.
So, Elm, I got a couple more questions to pitch at you. In your own personal experience, especially in a setup like this, at what point, if you look down at the timer and you see what time it is on the timer, do you begin to worry about where your opponent is exactly?
I wasn't worried. Like, the first time I really noticed the timer was when I was at, like, the 55-minute mark, and I was cleaning out Ice Palace, and I noticed that took quite a while, because I didn't have the cane, so I wondered if it was the right decision to go there with only bombos. But I didn't really start worrying until it was getting to, like, 128 or so, and then I started thinking, if I don't find my last item soon, then this might be GG.
So,
A 140 finish at the latest for Darko. Because, like, what I actually, when it came down to the Ice Rod, and the only locations I had left to check were Swamp and Pod and T-Rock. I decided to go to Swamp, and Ice Rod wasn't there. So then I decided, Darko probably either checked Swamp or Pod, and if he checked Pod and it wasn't there, then I was hoping it wasn't in Pod, basically, because I was being like, okay, if Darko checked Pod and then, you know, didn't find it there and then went to check Swamp, I knew it wasn't in Swamp. So I thought maybe, just maybe, if I rushed T-Rock and Ice Rod happened to be there, he wouldn't have checked it. So I took a gamble there, and it didn't really pay off, but that was kind of what I was thinking there.
But yeah, like, one other question I have to ask. Did you have fun during this?
Oh, yeah. This was a lot of fun.
Alright. Okay, a few items that you did not find. The red mail. I mean, where do you think that was?
I have no idea. I can't think what I even would have missed. It was maybe Fat Fairy, I don't know.
So, you know, there's a possibility it was, you know, at Fat Fairy, for the red mail. Again, it could have been in Ganon's tower, because you just found, you know, the big key, you found your 2 small keys, you're like, alright, screw this, done, going. And that was probably the better decision to make, so you never know. But, thus said, this was your first race today?
Yeah, this was my first race of the tournament so far.
So just from this race alone, I know you've only had one race, but what from this race do you plan on taking away to put into your next race? Like, what stuck out to you the most that you could possibly change in the future races to say, okay, this is what made me bad last time, maybe I can use this to make myself good this time?
Okay, so the major mistakes that I made were, one, not doing Dark Death Mountain as soon as I could, because that's an isolated area, so you can pretty much fit it in wherever, and it has a lot of items. So I realized there were like 6 or so item spots there that I hadn't checked when I was like going around checking fairly slow locations. I also, when I checked Light World Death Mountain, I forgot to look at what the island item was. So I was actually really worried that might have been Fire Rod, and I missed it. Because I've actually done that in the previous seed where I completely missed that item. The other thing I did that I didn't really like was... Actually, I didn't... Aside from that, I don't know if I made any decisions I was unhappy with. But I thought the Mimic Cave was in, like, the bottom T-Rock exit, and it wasn't, so... I gotta remember for future reference that it's like in the middle, outside where the mirror shield is. Like, I've never had to check it before, so like, it's never come up. So I forgot
That
where it
is
was.
definitely one of the places to forget. I mean, even in vanilla, it is definitely easy to forget about that. Also, like, going back toward the start of the seed, how did you feel about having boots early and the hammer? I mean, what was going through your mind? Like, what type of seed did you think that this was going to be?
Okay, so when I found boots, I was like, I hope I don't forget to use them. I forgot to use them in Zelda's room, but I was pretty conscious of it afterwards. when I found the hammer, I was kind of like, so finding items like that really early game, I find is like, it doesn't help you that much right away. It's just kind of, I don't really have to worry about this later. But hammer, yeah, it doesn't really help early game. It's just, I don't have to find it later, really. After I found Golden Sword, I figured probably Aghanim's Tower is something I should do, but I didn't want to do that until I was done checking everything that was fast. But I kind of figured when I got the hammer that was probably what was going to end up happening.
All right, both of you ran a really good race, despite like even like you saying like what you've learned to take from this were some of the mistakes that you probably will not be making in the future. And I'm pretty sure all of us know that Darko is not going to make the mistake of forgetting either tablet.
I was honestly really happy with how I played and the decisions that I made in like the first hour of the race. Pretty much all of that I thought was pretty good. Just not checking Darko Death Mountain. That's it.
Okay, now getting back into the game right now, Darko has actually made his way into Gauntlet right now. So, and honestly, in the very last two rooms of it, heading before Landmolus 2, right? So, he's definitely making an effort and sticking to finishing that, which I will commend him. I mean, just knowing like one versus one. I mean, just racing somebody, you have that adrenaline going, and then once you see that everyone else is finished, I mean, you kind of lose that, and you kind of just want to quit. But I give props to anyone who actually finishes a race like this, especially considering how hard this seed was. Do you have anything else that you want to add, Sacred Hoops, for right now?
At the moment, nope. We're just waiting here for Darko to finish up with this section of Ganon's Tower so we can see him go down into the Ganon fight. As most people have pointed out, he has not spotted switching to silver arrows at the moment, even though he does indeed have them. If only just because they generate some extra lag. But in regards, again, great match, Elm. You chose the right things at the right time. You took some decisions and gambles sooner than Darko that actually led you to, getting the payoff today. So it's just a matter of keeping that in mind and just, sticking to a plan once you find the items you need and just very well execution.
Thank you.
Now I think you could do that and redesign much faster. I knew there's a way I'd get a redesign joke in here.
Well, actually, Galamaz in person are throwing around the idea of making a redesign randomizer.
I'll join. There's a good one-day tournament. Alright, so now that we have Moldor 2 down, we're going to extend across the bridge and take out Aghanim 2 here on Darko's side. And I just got the information in. Unfortunately, Vitor has not saved the spoilers from these randomizer races, so unfortunately, as to where the lamp is, the world may never know at this point.
Yeah. And like I said, the only three possible places I can think of are the four-torch tile room, like north of there where the compass usually is, and Misery Mire, the basement of Tower of Hera, and of course Fat Fairy. Those are the only three places that we have not seen Elm or Darko take.
Darko here having himself a little. There we go. Was having a little bit of trouble trying to get Aghanim into the right position, but gets the magic done, and yeah, I don't want to comment.
Oh, and I stand corrected. The lamp cannot actually possibly be admired because you need the flute to get there, and the flute was in a dark room. I apologize for that.
So wait, what's up now?
The lamp couldn't have been in the compass room in Meyer because you have to go through the dark maze and pod in order to get there. And here Darko has taken just a little bit of damage, trying spin tactics for it, getting two phases, two cycles in phase 1 of Ganon. Now does he get he gets the one cycle for phase 2.
Now the big moment of truth is, will Darko remember that he has the silver arrows? Will he even know that he picked it up? Or is he just going to attempt to go down swinging?
Oh, did he? He didn't get the torch glitch, but I think he's gonna attempt to do tempered sword because I think he wants to practice it, considering where the silver arrows was this seed. I think he's wanting to practice doing tempered sword Ganon.
Don't blame him, but at the same time, you do have the silver arrows, man. You could finish sooner and do this later.
Well, I mean, honestly, all the practice that he can get for something like this. I mean, this is the only thing right now is for practice I can see, and right now he is doing a really good phase 4 Ganon.
So far, indeed, he's actually managed to keep the fire bats at good pace. He's remembering to go back and check the torches every 2 rounds. You know, he's got them on a good pattern, so he can get it done and executed well, and could finish off Ganon in the next couple blows too. I lost count of where he is at.
And here we have Darko.
Yep, there it is.
At with a time of 2:17:45, which is still a pretty solid time for a seed like this.
You know, while we work on seeing if we can get Darko in here to possibly drop some comments, I want to point out something that I've noticed is almost pretty much a consistency within this tournament, for the most part, with, like, you know, my 2 matches is definitely one way to put it across, but this match as well as a couple others I've seen seem to end up with the variant of, you know, anywhere between 2 people finishing within 2 minutes of each other, or almost 20 minutes of difference.
All right. Darko has refused to do an interview, but I do not blame him because of the frustration that he's probably feeling right now. Because
I feel him. Like, there's nothing more to say to it. I feel him 110%, and I respect that he doesn't, you know, want to talk right now. Because, again, the frustration of knowing that Ether Tablet had the fire rod was just as much as of a kick in the teeth for me as going to, you know, Thieves Town and find out I never checked the big chest to find out that's what I needed. You know? So it's understandable that after, quote, needlessly puttering around, per se, you don't feel like talking. It's understandable.
Okay, so actually it might not be because of his
doesn't have a microphone, so he doesn't talk much. All right.
Okay, so he didn't refuse. It's just, I apologize for saying that. He's just that he's not able to do it. So
better clarification is he's unfortunately unable to give comments.
He did say a quote for us for behalf of his interview. He said, "Whoops." So yeah.
Whoops.
At least, well, let's just say I'm pretty sure he's learning to not forget to check either this late in the game. So,
And everyone in chat is now counting out what possibility for bonks Darko came down with. If I read chat correctly, Elm came down with 69 bonks.
I think so too, but let's look at these stats. And maybe we can actually figure out where. Skull Woods, there were a few chests that were not checked for Darko.
Of
But
course.
Thieves Town, there was one, but that was because it had the map.
$27. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a pretty good number for the bonks, if I do say so myself.
Now the biggest question is, though, how much time was spent in menu and how much time was spent lagging? Time in menu, 4:28. Wow. Sub 4 minutes and 30 seconds item menu. That's some quick transitions.
Definitely. Like having that amount of time in the time menu. That really good, if I say so. So
even managing to pull off 5 minutes in the menu is pretty fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. So again, this is Fetchdog that did commentating for Darko and Elm. This was a fantastic race, if I do say so myself, minus some of the unfortunate events that both racers had. So, and would you like to say something for this?
As far as we know, if you'd like to know any more times that we have scheduled events going on, there's always the exclamation point schedule command in chat. We do have our next race at 2:30 p.m. today, so come back and look forward to that. And as always, come back to here on Speed Gaming on twitch.tv or join us on our sister/cousin/brothers in arms over on Speedruns Live. Occasionally we do our races there too. And until next time, may the way of the hero lead you back to us and the Triforce.
Well said. See everybody at 2:30.